Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Dawson Hurd, and today I want to tell you guys how Uber has changed my life. And this isn't clickbait or anything like that. I know you guys see negativity online when it comes to Uber, but Uber has changed my life personally for the best. And I don't want to crap on this company because I had a situation 2 years ago where Uber stopped me from being homeless. I'm just gonna say that, and I'll get into that later on in the video. So Uber has changed my life. Okay. And like I said, I know that may sound corny, but I don't want to narrow it down to Uber. Gig work has changed my life. It's given me freedom. I've learned to be disciplined, and I'm just goal oriented and driven to do better for myself. I've thought about maybe renting out cars. I've been doing it for 8 years, off and on, full time, part time. Let me back up a little bit. So I got into Uber because I used to work in property management, and I had a prospect come in, and he was interested in leasing an apartment. If you guys lease an apartment before, you know you have to make 3 times the rent. They're gonna verify your employment. They're gonna check your income to make sure you make 3 times the rent. So I remember a guy coming in, and he told me that he drove for Uber. So he didn't have your average W-2 pay stub. So I didn't really know what to do with his Uber statements, because y'all know the Uber statements look kind of, they just look weird. Okay, they've updated it since then, but back then they kind of looked a little, I don't know, they just didn't look legit. So I remember going to my property manager, and she said it's okay, he's not a W-2, he's a independent contractor, and their checks look a little different. He didn't make 3 times the rent, but I did ask him. He ended up getting a cosign. But I do remember asking him, did he enjoy driving for Uber? He said yes. He wasn't doing it full time. He was just doing it part time because he was in college. But he did say, hey, I recommend it. And at the time, I don't know where I was working at part time. I don't think I had a part time job at the time. So I wanted to get out of my 9 to 5. I was stressed out. The company that I worked for was amazing, but they did start micromanaging, and I don't really care to be micromanaged. I work the best when I'm left alone. I don't like people over my shoulder while I'm working. So I was already thinking of an exit plan. So I started doing it part-time, and it was amazing. When I first signed up, they had this amazing bonus where you got $7 extra per trip for like a couple of months or something like that. I didn't realize how good it was at the time. So I was making at least $10 per trip just doing minimal trips in the city. I usually like to stay in the city. And ever since then, it's just been amazing. Like, I've been doing it full time, part time, off and on. But I say it's changed my life because 2 years ago, I got out of a relationship. And obviously, when you're not in a relationship, you don't have that extra income. Life gets more expensive. And for the first time in my life, 2 years ago, I struggled financially. And I do not wish that on anyone. I was stressed out, and I just remember pulling into a truck. And I'm just being honest here, okay? This is going to be a channel where I'm going to be honest about everything, okay? I'm not going to be one of those channels I'm not going to just come on here flexing and acting like I'm just not struggling. No, I struggled 2 years ago to make ends meet after my breakup because it just happened abruptly. And if you've ever went through a breakup, you know it can kind of knock you off your grind. It messes with you emotionally. So I just remember pulling into a church parking lot, and I just broke down. How ironic, because I'm not a Christian. But I pulled into this church parking lot, and I just broke down. And Uber is the reason why I didn't become homeless. Okay. Now I do it part-time. I do have a 9 to 5 again. I'm working at a company that I love. But if I absolutely had to do this full-time again, I would. I actually am gonna be moving soon. Maybe sometime next year. I would love to move to Texas or Florida just to change the scenery. I've been living here most of my life. I'm from Kentucky, but I am excited to just move. And I know I could do that because I have Uber. So yeah, Uber's definitely changed my life. Uber's just, y'all, it's so early. I haven't had any coffee. I had a trip this morning at 3 and there wasn't any gas station, or there weren't any coffee shops open, so I had to get me one of these ghost drinks. This is really good, by the way. It's the orange cream flavor, but I try not to drink these because there's so much sugar in it. I usually will stop and get a coffee at Dunkin' Donuts, but they're not open at 3 o'clock, so I couldn't go there. But I want this channel to be something positive. I know I'm all over the place. Welcome to my channel. All I want to say is, if you're somebody who doesn't enjoy your job and you're ready for a change and you're not sure what route you want to go, do gig work. Do gig work until you figure out what you want to do. You don't have to do it full-time for a year. You could just do it full-time for a couple of months. And I promise you, it's going to make you feel so much better, okay? You don't have to worry about being micromanaged. Now, the apps, they like to try to control you. They do this cat and mouse game. But if you're somebody who understands the algorithm, that's not going to really press you. You're going to learn what works for you through trial and error doing this. When I first started doing it, I didn't really have a strategy. I just took rides. And I'll never forget, I took a ride all the way to Indiana. And I've taken trips to Kentucky. I'll never do those type of trips anymore because you got to drive all the way back home. And a lot of these people don't want to tip you. So I don't want to do long trips anymore. My strategy is short trips, and it works for me. And I'll make a video going over my strategies when it comes to working in this city. I wouldn't really say Nashville's a big city. It's like a mid-sized city. You can make a pretty decent amount here, especially with it being a party city. But if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment. Let's try to remain positive, please, in the comment. I don't want this to be one of those channels where it's just nothing but negativity in the comments. I really don't want that. If you watch this video all the way through, tell me how your experience has been doing gig work. Are you still doing gig work? Are you full-time, part-time? And yeah, I'll see. Look, I told y'all, it's so early. It's so early. I need to go get a coffee, but I will see you guys in the next video. And yes, take care of yourself.